Viewers like you make this program possible. Support your local PBS station.
This is normally prepared like on special occasion because, as you can see, it's very
like
tedious.
New Year coming up.
That's right. Our 10th New Year is coming up. The year of the dog.
The year of the dog.
It is actually my year, by the way.
Oh, nice. What is the food of New Year? What should I eat? What should I look for?
Are you an exotic eater? Like, are you willing to take the risk?
Of course.
Okay.
I felt that there was a little doubt in the voice there. I don't know what just happened.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
So we have a dish called tekan. Tekan.
Tekan.
Tekan.
Tekan.
So it's actually it's a duck plate. So we kill the duck, we drain the blood from the duck, then we cook up the meat, then we chop the duck into little chunks. We pour the chopped duck meat onto a plate with some green mince, and then we pour the sterilized blood that we took from the duck, and we pour it on top of it.
Yeah.
And then it sits like a Jello. And then you eat it that way.
I love it.
Seriously?
I've never had a dish
Oh
like
my God.
that.
Ah, Lord,
I grew up with blood pudding. There's no difference between, like, in France, you call it boudin.
Blood pudding?
Yeah, it's the same thing. There's no difference.
I love it.
What about your kids? I trust your kids. Do your kids eat it?
No.
I'm Chef Marcus Samuelsson, and as an immigrant born in Ethiopia and raised in Sweden, food to me has always told a deeper, more personal story. It's a path to culture, identity, and history.
Now it's a party.
I'm going across the country to learn more about America's immigrant communities and culinary traditions, to see how food connects us all across the United States.
When you think about New Orleans, you're just transported somewhere else. It doesn't feel like anywhere else in America, and I think that's a good thing. That's why we love it. People are drinking bourbon in the middle of the day. People are chucking oysters. There's music and jazz and hip-hop coming out everywhere. People want to celebrate life, and they love their city. What makes New Orleans so different is really its influences from all these ethnic cultures. Africa, Spanish, French, crayfish, oysters, po' boys, all of it. Shake it all up, just like a great gumbo. No matter what culture you are, you feel like this is a place for me. People know the French Quarter all over the world. People know Bourbon Street. But let me take you on a different ride, circa 40 minutes from Bourbon Street. The Vietnamese community made NOLA East their home. Highly entrepreneurial, sticking together. The Vietnamese in New Orleans have very quickly become an incredible important part of the fabric of the city and an incredible immigrant American story. In 1975, after the fall of Saigon, a wave of refugees fled Vietnam and settled in New Orleans. Fishing is big in both cultures. The climate was very tropical. Also a Catholic city, which a lot of the refugees were leaving Vietnam. So New Orleans was a perfect match.
I order this all the time when I get here.
Should I dump in the peanut sauce first?
Yep. Dip it in, and it's gonna be divine.
I'm being introduced to NOLA East by Cindy Nguyen. Cindy came here as a refugee with her family in the late 70s. She's also the first Vietnamese American councilwoman of NOLA East District. This is an amazing achievement.
Here with Cindy Nguyen, the winner tonight for the District East seat, and tell us, how are you feeling?
Overwhelmed. OMG, really, OMG. It's a big OMG. But feel really excited about this opportunity of bringing community together. So we're in Eastern New Orleans at Ba Mien Restaurant. Like, this is like my spot.
Yes.
This is like, if you really want true Vietnamese authentic food, this is the place that you want to be at.
Ba Mien is in a mall. You might drive by it, you might not see it. There's something beautiful about it. very known locally. It's all about the food. The food is incredible. What do we have here?
Is stir-fried vegetable with shrimp.
Beautiful. The basket is
squid,
nice.
and the baskets are crispy egg noodles.
Thank you, Chef. Beautiful. Before you were a politician, what did you
I'm
come
never
up
going to be a politician, by the way. And if I ever become one, please come and knock the
Yeah.
daylight out of me, okay?
Okay.
I've always been in serving people,
Yeah.
serving community, and so I don't believe I'm in politics.
I love that.
Yeah.
And you have this is a big community. This is a very important part of the city, and it was historically an African American neighborhood that now has large Vietnamese, but also a Latin population as well, right?
Exactly, but the African American community is still the largest population in the East.
You meet Cindy, you just feel her energy. She deeply cares about this specific community. And to bridge all of those different cultures, connect them back with the city, it's a big deal. Wow, what is this?
Hi, Chef. This is a special combination salad.
So as a Vietnamese born, I still have that taste bud for the traditional Vietnamese cooking. And it's in here.
So you're used to this. This is
Oh, yes.
This is your soul food. This is
Yes,
your,
this is a very light, very easy to make. Tasteful?
One of my favorite things about Vietnamese food is how super complex it is. It's an extremely light and bright cuisine. Fresh herbs, mint, cilantro, lemongrass, ginger. But then it's also very, very rich. You taste umami, you taste contradicting sort of flavors like shrimp next to beef tongue, next to chicken, next to steamed fish. It's very often finished with lime or lemon, which makes it super, super bright and light and just delicious.
This next dish is what we call Nam Nướng Cánh Hoa.
Yeah.
This is pork paste with green plantain, green mango, cucumbers, and some pickled vegetables.
Yes.
And this is almost like a do-it-yourself wrap with the rice paper and dip it in the water to soften up the rice paper.
Yeah.
You don't want to soak it too long.
Too long, right?
That's
just
right, it's
just
gonna be too
just
soft.
lightly soak,
Yep.
and you can take it out right away.
When you're hosting a party,
Yeah,
of course you want to keep everybody entertained. This is a very good way of entertaining using food.
it's so clean.
And it's fun.
Do you remember that day of leaving when we were too young?
Came over when I was 5 years old.
Oh, wow.
Thought I was going on a vacation.
On vacation.
Exactly. You know, it's like you're 5 years old. You don't.
Yeah,
think,
yeah, yeah.
You know, you don't think something is wrong.
No, of course,
And,
you're
you know,
fine.
and my dad was very particular about it. He was just like, just get on my back. And I remember riding my dad's back, running to the boat. And then once I got on the boat, it was just so crowded.
Yeah.
And we had limited food. My mom was pregnant, sister was sick.
Yeah.
And she's like, you were the only one that was just full of energy.
Going on vacation.
I was on vacation, you know, and it's been a very 43-year vacation now.
You know, other politicians might have more money in their district, but no one has better food. This is a tourist destination.
Yeah, I'm gonna start using that as one of my,
Yeah.
describing my district. It's a very
Absolutely.
delicious
It is.
district.
I think as a refugee or as an immigrant, you learn not to rely on anything or anybody else. You always have to figure it out yourself. So the Vietnamese in New Orleans started at a pretty insular community, stick together, work together, close-knit.
By the year 2000, it's about 6,000 to 7,000 Vietnamese Americans in New Orleans East, all within about a 1-mile radius. So that's one of the densest concentrations of Vietnamese Americans in the country. They sort of live on the geographic outskirts of New Orleans, not really interested in assimilating to the city. But after Katrina, that all changes very dramatically and very quickly. Katrina hits in late August of 2005. By December of that year, hundreds of Vietnamese Americans have returned. A couple years later, 90% of the community has returned. They exemplify the best of the city. People who can actually lead the way in post-Katrina reconstruction.
The Vietnamese community, when they moved into African-American communities, there was a level of mistrust between each other. But post-Katrina, it became a relationship where we have to rebuild together. To rebuild schools, your children need to go to school. You know, you need a house. We still need to grow food. We still need to feed our communities. After Katrina, a lot of Black churches were damaged in the East. The Vietnamese opened up the door for Black Catholics to worship, you know, and that does bring people together, which is, I think, the story of New Orleans, right?
The Vietnamese community in New Orleans, through their incredible hospitality, they've been able to set up tons of great Vietnamese restaurants in the city that have worked as the bridge to bring the locals together with the immigrant community. One of my favorites is Man Chu. Man Chu is on the border of Treme and the 7th Ward. So it's really in the center of this iconic Creole and African-American community right in the heart of New Orleans. Manchu is a staple in the community here. Think you're going to the corner store, but you're not. You're going basically to a takeout restaurant that is incredible. Ah! What is this place? I love it. People on top of each other. The whole community's in there. People come from all over the city. You can't describe it. Thank you. So John and you are cousins. John is a super cool guy. You have John's dad behind the counter. You're busy today, huh?
A little bit.
All right, what do we got? Chicken wings are literally just flying out. Fried chicken wings with barbecue sauce, and yakami, this incredible chicken noodle soup. What's the best thing to get? The wings and yakami?
Wings and yakami.
Yeah. How long have you been going to the store?
For years.
Yeah. There's dishes and there are nuances in that place that can only be from the Vietnamese and the African-American community working together. And you see it, and you feel it, and you taste it in the food. How long has the store been open?
Oh, to 26 years.
So it's older than you.
It's definitely older than me.
Yeah.
We just originally opened up to serve the community around here, and honestly, my parents, when they created the recipe for the chicken, like, they really didn't think it was gonna become intense like this.
And it's popular, it's packed.
To this day, we can't believe it's popular, you know?
The neighborhood really looks out for this place. We're in an area where a lot of these people have had their grandparents come here, or like their parents, and there were kids growing up coming here, and they still come back.
I have people who come here every single day of the week.
All right.
Get some chicken.
Chicken, definitely, and the wings, right?
Yes, sir. Oh, like, you can tell he's a loco. He's right in at the window.
Eat right at the window.
I'm not waiting.
Way to go.
I know.
It's dying.
This is a good lunch table.
It's a New Orleans lunch table.
Come on in, man.
Ooh, this looks
yeah.
good.
Yeah, man. Let's get a plate. I can taste that. It's a little bit.
Coming up as a kid, like you guys coming up,
Yes, sir.
you worked a lot in the store, I assume?
My father, actually, he was born and raised over in Vietnam, and didn't have too much time for school, so, started from a really young age, and starting over here, too, with his own kids, my siblings and I, he got us into the flow early on.
First generation just hustled and hustled and hustled so that their kids can pursue, financially secure dreams.
I'm sure leaving one place post-war, and also for religious freedom, you trade that coming to America, and then it can be racial tension or poverty. It's just so many different hurdles that you got to overcome.
Because we have only been here for, 4 decades?
Yeah.
Vietnamese people, that is. These minority communities try their best to not make waves because we're trying to just thrive.
So just head down, keep working, stick it together.
You don't scream out loud when you're paying your bills, You're paying your bills in silence. And you send your kids to school in silence.
Wow.
And when they graduate, You know, you hope that you can make it there and you're not stuck at work because that's what your business demands of you. But any community who's come here from a harder place, this is paradise, you know? To have the opportunity to not only open a business, but own something. And in the due process, you're contributing back to the very country that took you in.
What's Vietnamese about Manchu?
It's just the flavor profile. Growing up Vietnamese, and especially in this city, I don't think I've ever been privy to bland food before. You know, so everything that you try here, it's just sort of a kick to the taste buds.
What do you think it's about the city? Because it doesn't really matter whether it's Vietnamese food or the food of New Orleans. It's always flavorful. It's always delicious. It's always pushing for bringing in different types of culture. Like, what do you think? Is it in the waters? What do you think
it is in the water. We drink a lot. Yeah, it's a city where we really just revel in the little joys, you know, because there's just so many communities here that are very low income. The luxuries that you do have are just very tiny and short.
I think the story of the Vietnamese community in New Orleans is a story of two tales.
Make it even more beautiful.
One, the Vietnamese community staying strong, sticking together to carve out this place that is theirs. The other tale is also how open-minded the city of New Orleans were to a new taste, a new culture. And historically, the city has always done that, whether it was through the French, Spanish, or the Africans. It's richer culturally for it, and it proves why it's such an iconic American city.
It's good for the city to have all these different cultures and these different tastes come together. Creole is just a mixture of things. Maybe Spanish and French, who knows, but a whole lot of African. When you can work together through food, it's a wonderful thing.
Clea Chase is an icon in not just an American food scene, but also to the city of New Orleans. Duke Chase is one of the first integrated restaurants in America. The word restaurant means to restore your community. And when you look at Duke Chase, they've really taken that idea and manifested it. What's up, Chef? How are you?
Hey, how are you? Oh,
how are you?
Fine. don't you look great?
I had to dress up for you. How are you feeling?
I feel fine.
That's good. That's good.
I feel fine.
So I wanted to ask you, the grand dame of Creole cooking, like how has food changed since you started?
Oh, now it's a mixture. We have Creole, we have Cajun.
Cajun, of course.
We have Asian food coming. Now we're going to have a lot of Mexican restaurants.
Yeah.
All kinds of restaurants we have now.
We got France, we got Haiti, we got Africa, we got Spain.
Mixture, everything.
We got everything. And shake it all up.
Then we got Creole.
Yes, of course.
We got Creole. And the Vietnamese have come in.
Yes.
I know it's hard to come from your home not knowing where you're going or what you're going to do, and you have to make a life for yourself.
Sure.
Altogether different than when you were brought up. That is hard to do. They can bake. Oh, they can bake. They bake the best bread there is. I like that pho.
That broth, that is
yes,
beautiful.
Indeed.
It's beautiful.
So what I'm trying to do is learn about their greens.
Yeah.
I know how to work with their lemongrass, but if I learn to work with their different kinds of greens and mix them together and get those flavors, it's a different kind of thing, but it's good. I Creolize it all.
Creolizing for us in this city essentially means I'm going to make it taste how I want to make it based on my palate that I'm used to. The Vietnamese are Creole as well in their own way. You know, they were a French colony just like us.
You think about something like a banh mi, a French baguette, French liver pate, combined with the Vietnamese fish sauce and bright vinaigrettes and so on. You think about pho, almost a traditional French beef broth with Vietnamese rice noodles. So this link between France, New Orleans, Cajun, Creole and Vietnamese community is everywhere.
My name is Con Tran. Together with my husband, David, we opened up Fanola 8 years ago.
A lot of Vietnamese food is influenced by the French. The French does it, we does it too.
Pho really started when the French were colonists in Vietnam. They would get the good pieces of steak, and then the scraps and the bones were left to the local chefs, so they made the pho broth out of it.
I use knuckle bone. It's a little bit more expensive, but it got like little fat meat trimming around it. It releases more flavor to the broth. I cook it for like 9, 10 hours.
When you do it overnight, it actually deteriorates. That's where the sweetness comes in and the meatiness.
A lot of restaurants, they dilute it too much. They add too much water so they get more money out of it. Mine is very potent. When I take the pho out in the morning in the cooler, it should look like Jell-O. That's how you know it's potent. After that, add your spice, ginger, onions, anise-star, clove.
That's when we season the broth with the secret ingredient.
Me, I put in cinnamon stick. I dip the rice noodle, blanch it, get it soft, put it in a bowl, add my whatever, like brisket, my rare steak, my scallion, onion, cilantro, put the broth in. You gotta come out piping hot.
When you're serving it to the table, and when they mix up the rare steak, that's when it gets cooked.
Taste it before you add all your sriracha and your hoisin sauce. My place usually don't need none of that. It's already good. I add my bean sprout, my basil, my cilantro, squeeze my lime, my jalapeno, and mix it up and eat it.
You constantly see proofs of the Vietnamese community being strong together, collective, in entrepreneurship, in businesses that they've created, whether it's a restaurant or through shrimping. And look at how resilient and how strong they are. Post-Katrina, but then also when the BP oil spill happens in 2010, the BP oil spill hit the Vietnamese community especially hard. They have to abandon their livelihood as shrimpers and fishermen and find a new living all of a sudden.
Ít nhất 40% sống về nghề seafood. Nhưng mà sau vụ dầu nó ảnh hưởng thì mình phải lo lắng chứ. Bây giờ tôm cá không có, mình làm nó cái thu nhập nó thấp đi thì dĩ nhiên là nhà với tàu mình thì mình có giữ vững được hay không. Cái đó nó còn phải coi là cái thu nhập nó như thế nào. Nhưng mà về sau này nhiều người ta nghiên cứu, nhiều nhà nghiên cứu người ta coi đó, người ta bảo là không có sao. Nhưng mà sau khoảng 4-5 năm bắt đầu nó mới có ảnh hưởng. Người Việt Nam thì cái thứ nhất là người ta, cái sự cần cù người ta có nhiều, và cái sự chịu đựng. Tôi nghĩ đấy là một cái thành công của người Việt. Tuy là chịu nhiều cái disaster nhưng mà người ta vẫn không có bị ngã, không có bị bỏ cuộc là vì như vậy.
What do we got here? We got some root vegetables.
Yeah, some kohlrabi.
Nice.
Doing pretty well right now.
Yeah.
Mustard greens too, and some beets growing over there as well.
Beautiful. Kai is this incredible community organizer. He built this farm, Veggie, right after the BP oil spill for the elder Vietnamese community to grow vegetables, lettuce, herbs. And this was something that they knew how to do from back in the days in the old country in Vietnam. New Orleans is very hot too. It's a similar climate.
Vietnam very hot, but sometimes New Orleans too hot, too much.
Yeah.
Vietnam sometimes even.
In 2010, the BP oil spill happened, and then so we had a lot of people that were involved in the seafood industry. We were trying to figure out a way, how do we help these people, you know, who had lost their livelihoods overnight, basically. And so we were like, okay, a lot of people are passionate about farming. If you pass by any house in this community, if it's Vietnamese owned, like they'll be using any part of their land in the front yard, backyard to be growing something. Su hào luôn hả sao?
Su hào luôn hết.
Okay. Rồi bên đây này chú Phúc.
Bên đó là chú Phúc là củ cải củ trắng.
Cải.
Trắng với cái mấy
cái turnip hay là.
Oh, nice. The kohlrabi looks good too.
Right now, the temperature now is like it's perfect for them. So
yeah.
We have some cilantro.
Ăn cái cây, hơi cái cây đó. Có to không?
It's good. Who do you ship this to?
So we sell our produce to about 20 different restaurants in the city.
Once you had the idea, then you have to convert that into business. How did you approach a restaurant, and were they open to that?
The chefs are very, from our experience, all very warm and welcoming.
Yeah.
As long as you have the goods, you know.
Hey, if the product is better and the pricing is affordable, chefs will always want to support it locally.
For sure. And the other thing that they really like is our farmers, like they're very meticulous about making it very presentable. So that's one of the things that we
take pride in the product.
We get commended on it. The knowledge, the skills, the farmers are the ones that have it, and we just try to help them get it to the restaurants, to the markets. See, I told her she has.
Oh, nice.
So
she's bringing out the goods.
She and her husband were big time pepper farmers, black pepper.
In Vietnam?
Yeah.
Vietnam, yeah, in Vietnam.
No, oh my God.
Yeah,
Not American.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Very kind.
I don't know.
Not only is it a business, but it's also a business that brings your community together and links it with the city. So it's not isolated.
And I think in the last 10, 15 years or so, the Vietnamese community has definitely been more and more acknowledged and recognized beyond just the Vietnamese restaurants.
The farmers grow this incredible stuff, but they need an outlet. They need to sell it in a modern way. So what Kai has really created is a platform and a bridge from what his farmers grow to what these modern restaurants need. I mean, the chefs, they're super excited about what Kai and Veggie really stand for, right? Because they get access to the best ingredients in the height of season and to a very affordable price. It's a perfect ecosystem that works for both sides. It's really a win-win.
Kai came to Brightson's restaurant and other restaurants in the area to ask for support. Well, the products are so beautiful, we've become partners and friends ever since. My name is Frank Brightson, and we're here at Brightson's restaurant here in the Riverbend neighborhood of New Orleans. The majority of the harvest that we get from Veggie Co-op is salad greens, which are beautiful, a dozen kinds of baby lettuces, really fresh, literally picked that day or the day before. Fresh herbs, unusual ingredients like turmeric root, which I'm still experimenting with, and also a very unusual squash called a gugutsa. Here's a vegetable that doesn't appear that many places in the world, but it does in Louisiana and Vietnam. And so we've taken it and crossed it over a couple of times to create a stuffed gugutsa with Italian sausage. And if there's ever a Creole dish, this is it. Creole is the original fusion cuisine. It's not just one way of doing things, it's a lot of ways of building flavor, layer upon layer upon layer. One of the major outcomes of Katrina and the recovery of the city of New Orleans was very few of these newer restaurants are what I would consider classic Creole. So now there's numerous Vietnamese restaurants, Latin restaurants, all kinds. Young chefs, ambitious, following their dreams, and I think that's a very healthy thing. I think from a generational perspective, they are the new New Orleans, the new Creole.
I'm Peter Nguyen, and right now we're at Bummy Boys in Metairie, Louisiana. Bummy Boys is a combination of both Vietnamese banh mi and also New Orleans po' boys, which is a classic sandwich here in New Orleans. I've been working since I was 11. On my time off, I like to either travel, eat, or go thrill-seeking. I just like to really kind of live it up. I'm an adrenaline junkie, so I like to go do things that gets me all hyped up.
Peter is this super fun guy. And he worked really, really hard, like most Vietnamese immigrants, right, at a really young age. So, you know, he's just making up for lost time. Go-karting, I don't know anything about it. I've never tried it, but Peter says this is how he relax and have fun. I'm gonna go with Peter. I actually happen to love it. It was addicting. It was quite dangerous though, because it was raining. That was a lot of fun.
It was intense.
It was wet and difficult, but it was cool. It was a lot of fun. What do we got here?
All right, that right there is kind of like a hybrid. This is gonna be the po' boy, but it's gonna have a Vietnamese steak on it, which is bon air.
I was kind of thinking about that. I'm sure he's gonna do his banh mi twist on this, right?
Yeah. I call it like an Asian Philly.
Yeah, yeah.
It's thinly sliced steaks with caramelized onions, a Vietnamese spread, and a pate. So I've combined all that into a sandwich.
This is delicious. When you taste Peter's food, he's done something that is really gutsy. He's taking some of the most iconic sandwiches in the world. Po' boy meets banh mi. Wherever you go in New Orleans, po' boy is the sandwich that you find everywhere. Different versions, deep fried oyster, deep fried shrimp, sometimes with dressing, sometimes not. But Peter's really creolizing it with banh mi. Cucumber, carrot, cilantro, lime, but also a little bit of heat. So it's something heavy in the bottom, but then it gets bright. It's so delicious. What you got over there? Why are you saving the best part? What's going on over here?
I put Louisiana Gulf fried shrimp inside.
Yeah. Mmm. This is delicious.
Yeah. We had a gas station. We decided to do a restaurant next to it. And my parents wanted to do po' boys.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not gonna work. Let's do po' boys and banh mi. I wanted to do the true traditional of both sides, but then people wanted to cross each other.
Yeah.
So people wanted to have like fried shrimp on the banh mi, fried oysters on the banh mi, and they started switching things up, and it just created some whole new thing that people like.
It's really fully integrated.
Exactly.
It's really cool. You're born here, you're first generation, huh?
My dad was like working the gas stations. My mom was working nail salons.
Yeah.
And they were kind of like trying to build themselves up in the community. I remember he told me like 10 years he's gonna focus and he's gonna own his gas station, and it actually came true. He worked hard towards it.
That must have given you the inspiration to be able to do the same.
Yeah, I looked up to my dad all my life. He was like a true hustler to me, and he taught me everything I needed to know.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Where do you think the culture and the food scene is in 10 years from now?
I think it's just gonna be more evolving. It's like more new flavors. That's what people are chasing every year.
Yeah.
New techniques and all that good stuff.
Not only am I excited about what the first generation of Vietnamese American have added to the city, but when you meet people like Peter, you know that the next generation is gonna eat very, very well. It'll be funky, it'll be delicious, and I'm excited to taste it and see it.
Drip Affogato Bar is a dessert shop bringing together ice cream and really great craft coffee. My name is Julie Lee, and I'm the founder of Drip Affogato Bar. In Italian, affogato means to drown. In Italy, you'll find people pouring a lot of espresso over their gelato. We kind of take a different approach, and we pair really great craft ice cream with toppings and pair it with different shots besides espresso. We also have matcha, different coffees, and tea. Growing up, I'd always see my dad start his mornings with his Vietnamese coffee, traditionally made with New Orleans' own Café du Monde coffee and a very specific brand of condensed milk for that really beautiful flavor. We've kind of reinterpreted it for the modern coffee drinker, and it's creamy, luxurious, delicious drink. We are creating kind of our own version of the American dream, learning from our parents, and then applying those different methods to our modern business ideas. That's the kind of inspiration that's definitely going to stay with me as I keep developing businesses.
St. Roch is this legendary open-air market, was built in the 1870s and was nearly destroyed by Katrina, like so many other things, but is now being rebuilt as a food hall. and you have all these young, cool entrepreneurs setting up shop. You have a Haitian stand, you have a vegan stand, and then you have Tongue.
This market's about bringing the melting pot of New Orleans here. There's different cultures. You got from Mexican, you have some guys from New York making like a Jewish deli sort of deal.
Of course. So Tongue, how long have you been cooking?
Oh gosh, I've been cooking since I was a teenager, 15, 16. I mean, I watched my mom cook in the kitchen, and I was just like, you know what? I just gotta pay attention real quick.
Tongue is this really energetic chef that is super proud of his heritage. He opened T2 with the help of his parents. It's really inspired by global street food with the Vietnamese twist. You will find roti, taco, his version of banh mi's and pho, but it's truly Tongue's own version of global street food. What do we got?
So we got a little play on some tacos. You're doing roti with some smoked pulled pork. I'd use pickled carrots, bread and butter pickles, and then a Creole mustard aioli on top of that. Got a little pastrami over here.
Oh, it looks good.
Yeah.
And the pastrami, that takes a long time to get right.
Oh, yeah. And then on this plate over here, we have hot sausage made by Patton's, a local meat company, and also the same smoked pulled pork with a little ponzu and a sriracha aioli on top of that.
So we're Caribbean over here, a little Jewish food over here,
Yeah.
and then we're going back to Bao, we're going back to China over here. This doesn't look Vietnamese to me. What's going on?
It's just what I was raised up. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm over here in America, growing up in New Orleans. You got so many different cultures and stuff like that.
Yeah, being second generation, you're always torn between two cultures.
Absolutely, yeah.
Are you American enough? Are you Vietnamese enough?
Yeah.
How was that coming out?
When I was growing up, I couldn't bring food like this to school. Like, I wanted, like, it'll smell like that kimchi smell.
love that,
Like,
I love that.
But now it's the norm. It's just like everyone's accepting all of these different cultures and stuff like that, which is great. But as a child, I just felt like out of place.
Finding your identity, it's not easy for anybody growing up.
No, absolutely. My parents came over here and gave us a great opportunity to do what we got to do. You know? And it's their sacrifice coming over here that just gave us the opportunity to be successful. I mean, I'm very fortunate to have that support.
You got some of your mom's cooking. Is your mom pho on the menu yet?
Oh yeah, absolutely is on the menu. That was the first thing I put on there. My parents, they're very influential in myself and my siblings and stuff, so I want their to have something here. Just express like, this is what I was raised up on.
Yeah.
I had this nice bowl of pho, and it's like, that has to be the #1 thing. My mom has a composition book with all her recipes and does not tell us a single thing.
Yeah.
Because she wants us to go back home and watch her cook.
It's mom, what can you say?
Yeah.
There's definitely an emotional bond between the younger and the older generation. But like any young generation, people want to break free and want to do their own thing. And then there's this incredible, fun dialogue back and forth between what is Vietnamese, what is Vietnamese American, but also in the younger Vietnamese community that really identify first as New Orleanians.
My name is Lynn Garza, and we're at Dong Phuong Bakery. This is my family's business, and we've been here since 1982. I would consider our bakery Vietnamese New Orleans. Definitely New Orleans has put its mark on us. It definitely has both cultures ingrained into our DNA. Our two most popular orders for us is our French bread and our king cakes. My family, when we immigrated to the US from Vietnam, we settled in this neighborhood. We were probably the first bakery in this neighborhood in New Orleans East. We started serving the Vietnamese community. Once my father developed the French bread recipe, we were able to expand our market to different demographics around the city. And now king cake is definitely another crossover product for us. We started making king cakes in 2008. We made about 100 boxes the whole year. This year, we are pushing close to 40,000. King cake starts off with a sweet dough. Then we roll in some cinnamon, some sugar, our sauce. Then we topped it with a nice cream cheese icing. Sprinkle the Mardi Gras color, purple, green, and yellow, on the king cakes. During Mardi Gras season, people are lining up all the way out to the street, actually, in the mornings for king cake.
11 o'clock and they're sold out.
King cakes, food, parties, parades, beads. It's just a whole month of craziness.
So Tang invited me to his home. We're gonna celebrate Tet. Tet is the biggest holiday in the Vietnamese community. It celebrates New Year, but also spring. It brings together the older generation and the younger.
So this is my mom, Marcus, and this is my dad.
So we're at Tang's sister's house, and her whole family is incredible. All 26 of them. I think there's 12 kids, grandkids, nephews, nieces, grandma, aunties, people young, old, people everywhere. Tang's dad is walking around like the master of ceremony, giving money to the kids. There's gambling in the corner over here.
The object of the game, they got 3 dice in there.
Yeah.
And all you do is you want to bet on what you think the dice will come out.
Oh, easy.
Yeah, easy, right?
Easy, boy.
1, 2, 3, no more betting, you saw it there. Oh, you lost. Man.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Everything is absolutely fantastic and colorful. But for me, what gets me excited is the food. Can we talk about the food? The food is amazing.
Yeah. We're cutting it on the table now.
Oh, wow, that's good.
Yeah, this is a farmer note.
This is one of my favorite dishes my mom makes, the braised pork belly.
And you had the red rice?
A little sweet, and you pair it with the bologna ham.
Yeah.
And then it goes like a sweet and savory.
So the red means lucky and prosperity, or like what?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
This looks fantastic. The techniques that they're using is more like a 3-star Michelin chef done with some Vietnamese ingredients. Mom, what are we cooking?
I
What do we
cook
got?
meat.
So she shows me how to do Vietnamese egg rolls with pork and shrimp. And then
You know, the
taro
taro?
root. This is taro root.
Yes, taro.
Oh, you put the taro root inside. Can I mix?
She's very hardcore about using fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
She shreds her own carrots, shreds her own taro.
When
She
you
does really
came,
well.
when you came in the 70s, where did you get Vietnamese ingredients from?
Actually, they grew a lot of stuff
They
in
grew.
their
Similar
backyard.
climate.
Yes.
And what's your favorite non-Vietnamese dish?
Chicken for pie.
Popeye chicken.
I'm trying to help out. Know how to do spring rolls. I thought.
Too much.
Too much?
Move like here a little bit. Okay.
Oh. But of course, I have no clue. I get moved aside, pushed aside.
No.
Oh, you messed it
Over
up.
here. One more time, okay?
And then we fold it
Yeah.
in. Yes.
Ooh, good.
Nice. He's a very good teacher. Who taught you the traditional recipes? Was it your parents, your mom?
Bố mẹ.
Her dad.
Oh, your father. Tang's family, they are very proud about the heritage and the home country. But hey, we're in America right now. We are in the new country. The kids, the grandkids are Americanized. It smells great. A little mushroom, Brussels.
Oranges, lemons, onions, celery, some garlic, butter.
So basically, there's no Vietnamese flavor in this at all, right?
No, it's just something down here down the bayou where I enjoy it.
I like that. Little heat.
Yeah.
I want coffee.
You want a coffee? No, this is hot. Be careful. Just a little bit. Yeah, there you go. Because it can be. You like it? Looks good. And I love how you guys have both sort of super American and New Orleans tradition, but also your own. Like, it's not either or, it's both.
Yeah, I mean, we live in America. We live in Southeast Louisiana, and this is what we're here. I was raised up on crawfish and stuff.
That's awesome. Tang is trying to find his crew. Where does he fit into all this? He's young, he's a chef, he's evolving, he's putting his stamp on it. But when you see his family and the tradition, it's like, Tang, the good stuff is mom stuff. It's really, really good.
I just cook a bánh chưng.
Bánh chưng.
This done. This is for 12-hour cook.
Wow, it's beautiful.
good, yeah.
Is this traditional for a New Year's Eve dish, or do you eat it all year round?
No,
just for New Year's.
New Year's strictly.
I'm gonna eat all this food I've never had before. This is awesome. Bánh chưng is something I've never had before. First, right there, I'm excited, right? So this is a terrine, pork, bone-in and everything, that you wrap in banana leaf. You simmer it to 10 to 12 hours. You let it sit in this liquid overnight, and then you cut it with a string. Wow. And that's how she cut it.
That's how she cuts
Nice.
it.
That's so cool. I'm in awe of this whole process.
You want to try? There you go.
Tet Fest. It's also a celebration of success of keeping the family together. And it gets expressed in so many different ways, through the love of food, through dinners and breaking bread together.
Whole family come over.
Where stories from the grandparents and the parents are told to the younger generation, always remembering Vietnam and the ancestors there.
Lạy Chúa, chúng con cảm tạ Chúa đã ban cho chúng con một năm qua.
We're here all together as a family. Please continue to guide us into the right direction and with special family bond that no one can take away. Amen.
Happy New Year. Chúc mừng năm mới.
Chúc mừng năm
mới. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
Stick it.
I'm gonna go right here.
So bánh chưng. Awesome. So you serve that with the honey.
It's with honey.
Okay.
Finger.
There you go.
Yeah.
You're a natural.
Nice. No, if you need more. Yeah. Put on the side.
Yeah. It's fantastic. A lot of sort of French techniques with the terrines and all of that stuff.
Yeah. So
But
that's
then,
where the influence gets in.
Yeah. But then also a lot of sort of undertones of Chinese cooking.
Yep.
But then lighter, much brighter.
Absolutely.
We're talking about pâtés, terrines, things that takes hours to make. I'm in heaven. I'm super excited, but what is this?
It's pickled ham.
Nice.
And it has pork skin in there also, too.
Be careful, there's like a pepper in there. You might bite into.
Are you telling me now?
Everybody has a different technique for cooking, you know? Whereas if you go to the restaurant, you have your standard pho and all that stuff. But
it's like the hit list.
yeah.
It's the
But
banh mi.
if you go into someone's home, you know, that's where like the heart is.
This is essentially a love story, right, between Thung's father and mother that came to New Orleans in the mid-70s and created their new home where they all worked really, really hard. It's today an American success story that started somewhere in the outskirts of Saigon.
My dad's family is originally from the north.
Yep.
They escaped the communists from the north and came to the south, and they adapted to the south.
It's such a rich, tough story. You first you migrate, then you have to immigrate. But you've been longer in America now than you've been in Vietnam, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I've been here almost 43 years.
Yeah.
And so many story in my life. Got a 13 kids, and I got a big family. I thank God about that and everything. Sometimes, you know, I got a big question with them. Who you are?
Yeah, who
That's-
are you?
Yeah.
Right? They kept the Vietnamese culture and the American culture.
Yes, sir. That's I would like to all the young generation, you know, living in a freedom land.
I love that. I mean, as immigrants, very often we're more patriotic than Americans because we're very excited, happy to be here and grateful.
Yeah.
So.
My homeland, oh, so beautiful. You know, when I come to your American citizen and they just ask me, you like this country?
Yeah.
I said, yes, sir, I like this country, but I love my country more than that.
It's okay, you can like two things, that's all right. Being an immigrant, you constantly are thinking about the new country, which you want to sort of always embrace and are so proud and excited about being part of. Wow. Yeah.
Sorry.
And at the same time, when you miss your country, you think about the culture aspect, you think about food. Looking good. I like the butter, he added butter to it. Thung's father asked this important question. Who are we? Are we Americans? Are we Vietnamese? At what point do we become American? And I love the fact that Thung's father really speaks of this because although his grandkids are really, really young, this is a way to ensure that they never forget where they came from. It was amazing to be in New Orleans during Mardi Gras.
This is his first Mardi Gras.
But also to see it through the lens of the Vietnamese community. I think this question of who we are in terms of identity and when we become something else, it's a lifelong journey and quest that I ask myself very often. Am I Ethiopian? Am I Swedish? Am I American or a New Yorker? Can I be all four of those things? I have deep love and passions for all my culture.
The Vietnamese community, like, it was separate and like no one knew about it, but like now, second generation Vietnamese restaurants are now able to like experiment a little bit, you know?
They're doing different things. It's inspiring to me to look at the younger Vietnamese community that constantly ask themselves these questions. And with that, they say, hey, we have to create something great for ourselves, but also that represents our family.
That's so much to be proud of.
Yeah, America, people come into the restaurant business from all walks of life. Absolutely. And they're doing it, and he's doing it. If we're the bridge, right?
The bridge, yeah.
How do we say good cheers in Vietnamese?
1, 2, 3, yo.
Yo! That's the best cheers ever. Thanks, guys. Thank you. Thank you. So, Cindy's not your first name, like, wasn't your first given name. What's your name?
So my given name is Swan, so
Swan.
X-U-A-N.
Why did you change to Cindy?
I grew up idolizing Cyndi Lauper. I mean,
nice.
She is like the diggity bomb. Cyndi Lauper have always stand firm on who she is.
Absolutely.
You know, when I was going through the naturalization process,
yes.
I took advantage of it and named myself Cindy, and I spelled my name exactly the same way as Cyndi Lauper.
I love it.